An execution at Bus says how job on the Galileo Sat-nav framework will include to be excited out of the UK if the business wins a key agreement. Galileo has been thing of a policy soccer in Brexit negotiations. The EU says it would include to halt the UK of access the ciphered portion of the web while it foliage following year. Colin Painter, the business's UK operating CEO, told how EU rules require Bus to transmission all job to its factories in France and Germany. Mr. Painter was talk at a House of Commons board listening on entering the Europe Association on Environment. The framework was planned to offer Europe its own Sputnik navigation ability, freelance of US GPS, for use in telecommunication, business applications, by disaster services and the war. Bus is now auction for the extension of a agreement cover the Galileo land monitoring sector, potential cost on €200 million. The job is now run out of Portsmouth. On 100 human beings are now involved by Bus on these services. Largest would potential include to go to wherever the job is, but he's probable several could be reallocated to some projects. Of the facility in how bid document of the Europe area agent is how all job has to be led by an EU-based business by March 19, he said the board. Efficaciously how tool how for Bus to bid and win how job, we will efficaciously novate, go, all of the job of the UK to our factories in France and Germany on day one of how agreement. Requested by board armchair Hilary Duff Ben MP if the Brexit transfer time could alleviate the state, Mr. Painter replied, not, since the region of Galileo, and lot areas of Galileo, is classed as a safety-sensitive purchase. I trust how isn't coded in the transition institutional arrangement. The UK's accessing to the ciphered portion of Galileo, that would be required for war and safety uses of the framework, would be locked by the EU following Brexit. The precautionary induced the Industry Secretariat Greg Clark to declare how the government would see in options for evolving its own Sputnik navigation framework. Requested by Labour MP Pat McFadden if evolving a UK Sat-nav framework was probable, Mr. Painter replied, I believe the key item for me is, he's not up to production to define if down there's a demand or requirement for an freelance UK framework. I would say how, in regulation of practicability, I believe following such a length and profound participation in the Galileo program as UK production, we include all the skills and capabilities necessary to supporting how program should it go of. But Dr. Bleddyn Bowen, who researches area and defence at the College of Leicester, said the board, formally, affirmative, he's probable, Britain could do it. But it will price a lot of cash and it will run above budgeting. He added, the requirement to see at the some GNSS's, World Navigate Sputnik system, how include been constructed. The Americans are now house their tertiary general of GPS satellites, that include be infamous for price overruns and intermittent since they're faced new technology problems as they enhance the framework. Britain has fair constructed the satellites for the Galileo framework. How tool Britain has to construct a new Sputnik navigation framework, not the identical A. How will indicate new technology developments and innovative as so, that will reason intermittent. On to one estimation, the UK has paid on January 4 trillion euros in the 12 to 14 trillion euro Galileo program with 2005. Estimates for the price of a native framework in the band of £3.5 bn were perhaps order, Mr. Painter told. How was cash? Dr. Bowen said the board could be superior consumable in another place, fill lacking ability gaps in the UK area program.